One. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Anthony Anthem, aka Black Fabio, aka the Midnight Marauder, aka no, I'm not sleeping with the president's daughter, aka also an author, aka no, I'm just playing. Let me just stop right here. We got a special guest today. Would you like to state your name?
Yes, it's Billie Ann.
Miss Billie Ann. Okay. How are you doing today?
I am actually doing really good. How about you?
I'm doing good. As you can see, I'm already being a huge dork today. So I appreciate you for coming on my humble podcast.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a dork, right? It's fun.
That's part of my my boyish charm, I guess.
Well, then you have an abundance of that.
Well, all shucks. Now I'm blushing. If the people could see me now, I've turned bright red, with a slight color. We like to call it like a nice crimson red. You can find at your local Home Depot or Lowe's, which they don't sponsor me for this, but if you do want to sponsor me, Home Depot or Lowe's, I am available. Now, back to the podcast. So,
Funny.
I'm sorry. I know you're probably like, what did I get myself into?
Hey, I've had some crazy interviews before, so it's all good.
Oh boy. Well, let's go on a ride then. So Miss Sherman, Miss Billie Ann, why don't you tell me about yourself a little bit?
Okay, well, not exactly sure where to start. As you know, I'm an actress. I live here in LA. Let's see here. I suck at this part. I never know what to tell.
No, it's okay.
I never know what to say. I've been acting professionally for about 6 years. Yeah, about 6 years.
Okay.
Before that, I did like plays in college and community theater and whatnot. Lived all over the world. My parents were both military.
Oh, what branch?
Navy.
That's right. That's right. It was Navy.
Yeah, they were both air traffic controllers.
Oh, that's a job right there.
Yeah, no, tell me about it.
It was like, so we got to make sure these things in the air do not crash. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. They have a lot of stress to deal with.
That's a high stress job right there. But obviously, they must have the IQ to handle that stress, along with the perseverance. Because that's not a job I don't think I would want to take on. Because I don't want to be responsible for a whole bunch of men and women up in the air. No, thank you.
I know. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely no thanks.
So,
yeah, props to my parents for that one.
So you lived all over the world. Where have you lived?
Oh, let's see here. Maryland, DC, where else? Cuba, Puerto Rico.
Cuba?
Yeah, Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, they I had an aunt that went to Guantanamo Bay. She was like, oh.
I loved it there. Like, I mean, it was really hot, but I mean, I loved the scuba diving and the, fishing and whatever. Like, I mean, they had so much stuff to do. So definitely
That's
an
awesome.
experience.
She said she didn't like the base, but she did like the country.
Well, we weren't allowed to leave the base at the time. So, you couldn't go to mainland Cuba or anything because it was still closed off to Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there were signs. There were like signs out in the bay, and it said, if you go past this point, you will be shot. And I'm like, oh, yeah, let's not go there. That would suck.
Like, I don't feel like getting shot today. No thanks.
Yeah. I mean, there was parts of the island that, like, they had them roped off and stuff, because if you'd walk out there, they didn't know where all the landmines were yet.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, we didn't do a quick visit to the Havana Nights, I see. Probably a good thing. Um,
Yeah.
in that type of situation, I think not. Um, so where else have you been?
Let's see here. Mississippi. That's a just a crap hole of a state. Like, I don't like Mississippi at
Ooh,
all.
I mean they got good catfish, but I don't know what else they got down there. I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
they
hate
make
on
good
Mrs.
food. Like, the food there is really good, but like, as far as the state itself, it was just so slow. It was like everybody just driving around on a Sunday, like all week long. I'm like, come on, people. You know,
That's South for you. They like to just keep it a little bit
yeah,
more
very, very
slow.
low key, laid back. Um, and the beach was kind of gross, because of the oil spill a few years ago. So couldn't really go swimming.
Wait,
Like,
wait, wait. They have a beach in Mississippi?
oh yeah, it's got the world's longest man-made beach.
Really?
Yep, in Gulfport.
This is just how much I don't know about Mississippi. I know
Yeah,
I know some famous civil rights leaders came from Mississippi and Alabama around that Bible Belt area, but that's about it.
yeah. Let's see where else. New Orleans,
Love New Orleans.
Florida, Iowa, and now in California.
Ah, okay. So you've been pretty much all over the domestic United States, including Cuba. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And I mean, I've visited, the Bahamas and what have you, but
I have never been to the Caribbean. I've been to Europe and I've been to Japan, but I have
mhm.
never been to the Caribbean. I need to go somewhere tropical. I need a Mai
Yeah,
Tai.
it's beautiful. It is. It's definitely beautiful. And I've been to Europe and I've lived there. Um, that was
Oh,
really 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 interesting experience. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've been so many places. Like, I can't. I think it's because of my parents being in the military. Like, I move every 3 to 6 years. I'm ready to go somewhere new.
okay. So you're kind of a wanderer or some sort, kind of a drifter.
Well, I mean, not really. I
Well, I
just
mean,
I
in an aspect, like,
Yeah, yeah, kind of. I mean, but California, I think I probably won't leave here unless, I move to Europe or something. But like, I really like California.
it's a beautiful place. Like, I actually stayed in California for a couple months, like about a year ago, and I really enjoy California. It's a bit expensive, but at the same time, though, it's it's definitely rich with a lot of resources. Like, I mean, there's beautiful places to hike. There's like citrus fruits growing like all over the place.
Oh yeah.
And when the sun is shining out there, it's so amazing. Like, surprisingly, when I was there though, I was in SoCal and it was raining like the first month I was there.
Yeah, it's been raining here the last couple days.
And I heard that's kind of a rare thing. Like it never rains in California,
You
like the
know,
Tony
I,
song.
I yeah, I always watch these movies and I would be like, oh, it's always warm there and people run around bikinis everywhere, you know what I mean? And I get
Sure.
here and I'm cold. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's a high of like 65 today.
I know that just sounds magical. Well, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I'm from the Midwest, okay? 65 degrees is everybody all of a sudden breaks out their shorts.
That's
Like,
funny.
I kid you not, they're like, oh, this is perfect shorts weather.
Yeah.
Like when I was over there, it was like, oh, 65 degrees. This is so nice. And everybody else is like wrapped up in a blanket and had their hoodies on. I'm just like, what's wrong with y'all? It's like it's cold. This is
Yeah.
cold?
Yeah.
I
That's
was like,
kind of
oh
like
gosh.
when I moved from Maryland to Mississippi, and it was
Hmm.
February, and it snows and whatnot in Maryland. And um, when we got down to Mississippi, my daughter was wearing shorts, walking around in a t-shirt. Same for me, and everybody was like, "Aren't you people cold?" I'm like, "This is nice. What are you talking about?"
Like this is magical. It's like it's winter. This is winter? Oh
Yeah,
my
we thought it was spring.
I was living in Jacksonville. My sister turned on the heat when it was like 60 degrees outside, and I'm sitting here feeling like I'm about to melt. And I'm like, why is it so hot in the house? Oh, I turned the heat on. You're cold right now. It's like it's winter. This is winter. Oh my gosh, I am going to die. Can you turn the heat down?
That's so funny.
I'm telling you, like I was sweating so much, I was breathing hard because I was like, oh, this humidity. Why is it so hot all of a sudden in the house? I was like, this is not for fat guys. I'm not gonna make it. I'm fading away.
Oh
She was
boy.
like, you think it's hot in here? You think it's cold in here?
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. I've come to the conclusion Southerners don't know what cold is until they've experienced either the East Coast or the Midwest,
Yeah.
where we actually got this thing called snow. It's a great invention that we all try to avoid, especially when we got to shovel our driveways. No thanks.
Yeah. I remember when I was in Maryland, I was actually out walking around with my kids in a blizzard, and it was like not very cold. I was like, oh, this is nice. I mean,
Different
it's
types of
pretty bad.
winters.
Like, yeah, and it was pretty bad. Like in Mississippi, we went through a hurricane, and all the neighbors were boarding up their windows and their, houses and stuff. Me and my kids were literally outside playing in it. Like we actually like the streets near the beach were flooded. Like I mean, like in about 6 or 7 feet of water. We were swimming on the highway. I was like, this is so much fun. And everybody's like, are you
Wow.
insane? I'm like, yeah, probably.
That I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That just sounds like a simple day in Missouri. Like, I, I was like, oh, it's just another day in Missouri.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
telling
people just thought we were crazy. I was just like, oh, this is nothing. Trust me.
you, it's like seriously, this is nice. This is like being at a beach in the luau or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I can deal with this. So, so you've been acting for about 6 years, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So, what got you? What? How did you catch the acting bug?
Oh, well, in high school, I did all the plays and what have you, the Greek tragedies and comedies and what have you. And I absolutely loved it then. And then I went on to do some other stuff. And then I got into college and I did um, plays in college. But I really don't like doing theater very much. I don't like the live, audience. I'd prefer to be able to, the director go, cut, okay, let's do that again.
Right.
It's so much pressure in front of a live audience, but it's a challenge and it's kind of fun sometimes, but I haven't done that in quite a while. But it was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I literally woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, this is what I need to do. And I just got onto the computer and started figuring out exactly where to get headshots and agents and, the whole 9 yards, and started researching it. And then for like 6 or 7 months, that's all I did. And then one day I saw a post on Craigslist for a job, and it didn't say who it was for, what it was for. I show up to the set. It was for American Horror Story Coven. It was like as an extra. And I was like, oh. So I did that, and that was my first acting job.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was it like to be on the set of that?
Crazy. It was amazing though. And then they also did this it was called American Horror Story Coven The Experience. Like I guess before every new season, these winners of this contest, whoever like is the biggest fan, I guess, of American Horror Story, they do this whole interactive thing. They fly them somewhere, and then they like for a whole day they scare the living bejesus out of them. And I got paid to do that as well. So like we did it was for Coven, and it aired right before the actual season started. So
So
yeah,
wait a minute. They won a contest.
they flew these people to New Orleans, and for 2 days prior to them actually coming out for the contest, we had to set up and rehearse and whatever. And there was like different sections in the woods where these people went. and I was a voodoo dancer. And then they had like a section of witches being burned, and then they had like, I don't remember if you've seen the show or not, but
Oh, I've
there was
seen it.
this giant there was a guy with a giant cow head on his head in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they had a lot of the props from the show there, and this guy had to actually like walk around dressed as that half cow or whatever it was, a bull or what have you, and scare the heck out of people. And yeah, it was really cool. And then the
Oh,
last night when the
oh,
people actually showed up to claim their prize of getting scared, it was pouring rain on us. It was so bad.
okay.
And
This
it was
just sounds like
cold.
it got even more creepier. It's raining. You got people chasing after you in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
first of all, I don't know. Okay, I like watching the show. I don't want to live the show. Okay, I, I, that's just a whole experience. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that contest because one, I'm like every black horror movie. We punch the villain. We may die in the process, but we'll go down kicking and screaming. I don't think that would have worked for me. That's why I don't do haunted houses.
Oh, boy. I love haunted houses. Anything like dark or scary, I'm totally in. I want to do it. It's so much fun.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're fun. It's just I gotta remember, like, oh, yeah, they're not real. But at the same time, I'm just like, I'll be in like boxing stance, like I'm a professional boxer or something like that. I was like, you want a piece of me? I'm gonna summon the energy of Iron Mike Tyson. Come on, let's go.
That's funny.
I was like, I challenge you to a round of fisticuffs. I know that sounded so bad. I remember one time I went to this haunted house, and one of the guys got me good. I'm not gonna even sit here in front. It's this haunted house called Edge of Hell out here that they do every year on Halloween in downtown Kansas City. And I was walking. It's like this big old building. Okay, so like I'm walking. I'm like on the second floor of this building. Okay, and everything just seems cool. Like I already see like see some of these people coming, right? So I'm just like, okay, there you are, there you are, there you are. This dude creeped up from behind. I don't know where he came from, like literally, because I was looking back and forth. I didn't see him. This dude that crouched down. All of a sudden, he came out of nowhere and was just like, "Rah!" I was like, oh, bleep, 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 bleep.
Oh my gosh.
Like literally, I thought I needed a new change of underwear. I'm not gonna even sit here in front. Like, oh my
That's,
gosh.
that's just crazy.
I mean, seriously, I think I could have outjumped the NBA player at that point. Like
Yeah.
that's how high I jumped. I'm not gonna even sit here and lie. All of a sudden, you just hear this high pitched scream, and yeah, it was me. I found out it was me screaming. I was like, ah! I was like, oh, oh!
Oh my god.
I sounded like a drag queen having a fit, just like,
That's
ah!
so funny. Wow.
Oh yeah, it was bad. I'm not gonna even sit here in front. Like, I was like, that's one of the most embarrassing moments of my life right there. And I
Hmm.
was on a date.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I screamed higher than Mariah Carey that night.
That's hilarious.
I was like, man, I could have matched Mariah Carey and Ariana Grande.
Oh
Like,
boy.
oh, this don't work out. I guess I'm gonna be hitting F notes and being a singer. But nobody needs to hear that.
Hey, you never know, right?
We'll see. It's like I'm just gonna let the entertainers do what they do. I'm gonna just entertain people with my voice if they want to hear that. So,
Hmm.
hello, welcome to another podcast. We're gonna do this NPR style. So, back to you. Um,
Okay.
so, as I'm doing this NPR style, um, what is your lifetime goal, Miss Billie Ann?
Lifetime goal. Wow. Okay. To create art that either makes people think or just touches them emotionally. To raise my kids to be happy individuals. Um, yeah, and marry Johnny Depp. Yeah, that's about it.
Marry Johnny Depp. Well, I mean, he
Yeah,
is single now. He got away from his
yeah,
crazy ex-wife.
yeah.
I
I know.
felt,
Oh, don't like her.
oh my gosh, I was
I've
so
been in love
upset.
with that man since I was like 5.
I think we've all been in love with that man since we were like of age.
I
I'm not gonna lie, it's Johnny Depp. Okay, if
know.
Johnny Depp was just like,
Literally. Yeah,
I'm
there's
not gonna even say here in front. If Johnny Depp was like, "Hey Anthony, I want you to come over to my mansion," you think I'm not gonna squeal like a schoolgirl? You must be kidding. It's Johnny Depp.
right. Oh
Friggin'
yeah.
I was like, he seems like the type that would still love you emotionally, but at the same time pretend he doesn't care.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
He's Johnny that cool.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. He's literally the most perfect human being on planet Earth.
I mean, seriously, I was really upset when I found out Homegirl lied about that, and just the fact
I
that,
was crying the minute that the news broke. I knew this that woman was just high and lying. Like there was no way. I'm like he had so many exes say that he was a gentle person. I'm like, are you kidding me, woman? Really? But she was the one who had been arrested for child abuse, domestic violence with her ex girlfriend. I'm like, come on, we can see right through you.
oh, she had an ex girlfriend. Oh, I did not know she was.
Yeah, yeah, she's bisexual, but she has some ex girlfriend, some photographer or something, Tessa Von Ray or something. They were in an airport, and apparently things got heated between them two.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And every time I read more stuff about the things that she did to him, I'm like, they could offer me $50 million. I would never work with her.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty much ruined her career. I mean,
Well, they
you,
haven't fired her from Aquaman 2 yet, which, they really need to hurry up and get on that.
yeah, because I'm sorry, I have no respect for
Gladly take
anybody.
her place.
I
I
don't have
would,
no respect for anybody, male or female, that like who lies about being, abused.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's a serious case.
Yeah, and she's actually proven now that she was actually abusing him. And I'm like, mm-mm. And
That's
after
what I'm
he
saying.
got fired from Pirates of the Caribbean because of her, no, 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 no. Mm-mm.
I mean, seriously, she pretty much tried to ruin his career
Oh yeah,
that he had worked so hard on. I mean, this dude basically, literally became everything in childhood dreams. Like, you think about it, he's been a doctor, he's been the the badass in like movies, he's been the comical pirate to drug dealer to doctor. I mean, you just go down the list of things he's done.
yeah,
Like, it's like people telling him he can't do anything, and he ends up doing everything.
yep, exactly.
Like, they don't make actors like him all the time. We're lucky. We got this in this century, in this time, in this decade. There's
Yeah,
like,
and he truly loves his fans, and yeah, he's definitely one of a kind.
yeah, and that's why I'm really glad that this came to light because I didn't want to believe it. Like, from a different side, I did not want to believe that he would do something like that, and I'm glad that I like my suspicions were correct. I think everybody was glad. It's like, come
Yeah,
on, this is the man that brought to life so many different characters and different personalities, and I mean, I could gush about him all the time. I mean, seriously, I'm a huge fan. Okay, I'm
yeah,
always
me
there.
too. Definitely.
So
Like, I'm praying to God that I can work with him at some point soon. Like, because I think I would probably, faint first and then be like, okay, please don't screw up your lines. Don't screw up your lines. Looking at him, just completely forget what I'm supposed to say.
he's so perfect.
Oh, Lord.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna put that out in the universe. Johnny Depp, I'm contacting you in the universe. Make this happen. We want this to happen. It's like I'm
Yeah,
bringing it to drama.
absolutely.
Billie Ann wants to work with Johnny Depp. This is happening.
Gosh.
So you know what?
And you know,
I'm.
and it's funny when he did Public Enemies. That's
Oh
actually
my
one of
god.
my favorite movies because do you know that getting him to say my name the very first time I ever saw that film, and he said because his girlfriend's name in the show was Billie, and I was like, oh, that's what it sounds like coming out of his mouth. I'm going to die.
Oh my gosh. I know you must have been in heaven. It's just like it's almost like he's talking to me.
Yeah, I turn into like a 16-year-old schoolgirl when I think about him. I'm like, oh Lord, help me.
Oh my gosh. Note to self: I will never ever bring a girl around Johnny Depp because Johnny Depp will steal my girl.
Yeah,
End of story.
I don't know of any woman who would survive around him.
No, buddy. I'm serious. Like he's just that pretty. Like I'll be sitting
Yeah.
there having a nice casual dinner with somebody I've probably been with a long time. So
Hmm.
we've been through a lot of stuff. Then all of a sudden Johnny Depp just like snaps his fingers and she gets in a trance and then next thing she know, she's sitting at his table and I'm like, well, that's Johnny Depp. I knew I was gonna lose.
Yep.
That'll just
Can't
be the
blame her. All
casual
right.
thing.
Bye. Bye, chick. Later.
I was like, how many times has Johnny Depp been noted as a hall pass?
Exactly.
It's like, for instance, if Halle Berry walked up to me, I'm already warning everybody. That's my hall pass. That's still my hall pass.
Hmm.
Everybody's like, yeah. It's like Halle don't look. I don't care. Halle Berry is still Halle Berry. In the story.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Or
I
even
mean, can
Susan.
you imagine? Can you imagine if Brandon Lee were still alive?
Oh, speaking of which, like, I'm not gonna give out too much detail, but let's just say that her like one of her like her she's very inspired by Brandon Lee in a lot of different ways. Um, yeah, I saw that. I was like, ooh, she had a crush on Brandon Lee.
Oh yeah. Yep. 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 Sure do.
It's
Like
something
I
about
think I've
those
seen The
Lee
Crow
men.
probably 1,000 times. I own every single thing he's ever done on DVD. You know, I even have like a watch from The Crow. I've got like all kinds of just memorabilia that I mean I've ordered. Um, and they did the prop that in the movie when he gets his hand shot by Funboy.
Mm-hmm.
That prop was up on eBay for $2,500.
You have it?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. To all the Crow fans out there, and to all the fans of Brandon Lee, she has memorabilia that is probably worth a lot. And I would have to say that I'm a little jealous. That I'm a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie, because I enjoy Brandon Lee. I think he was gone far too soon.
Oh yeah.
Like I also like his father, of course, because like I've always been a Bruce Lee fan.
Heck
But
yeah.
it's something about the Lees in general with their charisma. Like even his daughter has that charisma. So it's just like
Yeah.
I was like, Bruce Lee just brought something to because like like people were even saying like in those days, especially even his dad, they were just like everybody wanted to be Asian because like because of his swagger, because how he moved and how he
Mm.
spoke to people. Everybody was like, dude, I kind of wish I had a Chinese background. People were wearing the clothes. People had like kind of like this Asian centric
So,
style of
so
clothing.
you just saying? Are you saying that only Chinese people wear clothes?
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Just like it, it's just like you got to think about it, like, cause I remember like, especially in the '80s, like you think about the '80s and stuff like that. A lot of like there was a lot of theme to like a lot of people wearing kind of more like Asian centric clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you look at some of the old movies, like whether it was a Chinese style or Japanese style or whatever it may be, you can kind of see it, and he kind of brought that like essence to like film culture and also just like in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Like it's like man, it's like they actually got some cool dudes from where he's from. Blah blah blah. Like it was a thing. Like for like I could say that just like in like the family, like my family and how I grew up, like that definitely was something that was a part of like the culture or what I grew up in. Like
Mm-hmm.
just seeing like different nationalities and influences, like what like in the films I watch or how I kind of look at life, the philosophies and everything. So that's always been a thing for me, like the art of being like water and making sure you kind of form it. It's like
Right.
be like water, you know what I'm saying? Like that's I always kind of loved his quotes. And his son, I think, definitely was trying to wrap the legacy in his best way possible too. I wish I could have saw more because he died he was so young and I was young before I really knew who Brandon Lee was. So when
Mm-hmm.
I got older, so it was just like it was something important to me. Like, dang, he was just as cool as his dad.
Yeah. I mean, I know that he would probably still be super famous right now if he had lived to keep acting. He would have been a complete A-lister. He would have been like Johnny Depp. And what? Speaking of that, what's crazy? That they had originally offered the role to Johnny Depp, but because he had scheduling conflicts and couldn't take the role. That's how Brandon got it.
Hmm. What would have happened if Johnny would have took the role instead of Brandon?
Yeah, well, you know what would have happened probably.
Well, let's just knock on wood. Um, if it's in
Yeah,
the
so that was one of
works where something traded over or something like that.
them. Yeah.
Well, at least we kept one. I'm glad we at
Yeah.
least have. I mean, it's long we don't got to say the Deadpool joke. At least we still have Bowie because we don't.
Oh,
And
yeah.
okay, that was a little too soon. Anyway, so Miss Billie Ann, so so you're a mother, you're an actor,
Yep.
and you're passionate about some of your fandoms of actors. Who inspired you the most to get into the career of acting?
You mean like as far as like actors go that I like or what?
Like, who inspires you to keep like going after your passion? It could be actors, it could
Um,
be family members, it could be anybody.
mm, Not really in my family or friends because pretty much they were just like, uh-huh, sure. You know how people get. Oh, that's just a dream. You're never gonna achieve it, and here I am doing it. Um, but
Facts.
as far as the actors that I enjoy, obviously, JD, obviously, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, I've drawn inspiration from them as well because you know Brad Pitt went into college to be an accountant and just kind of fell into it.
Truth.
And
Right.
of course, Angelina was born into that. So, but I mean, just their difference in styles, it's always made me like, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want my life to be. And I moved out here about a year ago, and I've never looked back. I'm gonna just keep going forward because this place is amazing. And it's hard. The career out here, it is very hard, especially if you don't really know anybody, whatever. But if you just don't give up, you can keep going forward, and that's all that matters. You just keep moving.
What motivates you the most?
Just my pure and absolute love of being on set and getting to play different people and things that actually push me out of my comfort zone.
Okay. So, what kind of roles have you done in the past?
Um, let's see. I did a film with Tom Berenger called Impact Earth, which was on the Sci-Fi Channel, but whatever.
Oh
Um,
shoot, that's still publicity,
and
girl.
it's I played an FBI agent in that, and it was so funny because where I was living at the time, the people didn't know I was an actor, and they saw me on the news because the news had come out and they filmed the scene of us walking into this college campus. And next thing, my neighbors are like, "We didn't know you were in the FBI. Oh my gosh, what were you doing there?" And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I didn't know it was on the news. And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay." So ended up that they had seen that, and then they just started calling me Hollywood from then on out. And I was like, "Oh Lord, help me." But I was like, I had to explain to them. I was like, it was a film. Okay, calm down. Not really in the FBI.
Hollywood, huh?
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
So now
Uh,
you're Billie Ann, aka Miss Hollywood.
Apparently, yes. At least in the state of Mississippi. Let's see, what other kind of roles? I worked with Megan Good.
You worked with
Um,
Megan Good? I
yeah,
love Megan.
yeah.
She's a great actress.
I didn't know who she was, and uh,
What?
yeah, I had no clue. No
How
clue.
do you not
All
know
I,
who Megan Good? She's been playing in like everybody's girlfriend since I can remember.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't realize who she was. And it was a movie called A Girl Like Grace, with Little Bow Wow and Raven Simone.
Yep, I
And
remember.
um, and it was so funny because she came downstairs from makeup and stuff, and they were like fixing her hair and stuff and handing her and holding things for her. So I knew she was somebody important. I'm like, well, there's a bunch of people around her, so obviously, and she's not. I mean, she's not doing anything. And the director is like, okay, you come here, and I'm like, I'm supposed to sit next to her and like give her this really dirty look when she gets up. Like I played a welfare office recipient or something. Um, and she's like, oh yeah, don't worry, she's got this, she's a professional, she can handle this, blah blah. And it had like two speaking lines in it, but unfortunately those didn't make it into the cut. But she was so freaking nice to me. She was like, you know what, chick? She goes, I'm gonna tell you something. She goes, you've got what it takes to make it in this business. She goes, you don't look like anyone else in Hollywood. I'm like, well then, I will take it and I will run with it. Thank you. And she spent actually like an hour talking to me. And I mean, I still like when I walked away, I was like, oh, that's who she is. I had to look her up, and then I was like, oh, I see now.
Oh yeah. Well, that's awesome because like Megan Good, I'm pretty sure she can call when she sees it. She's been acting since she was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
She's seen people in and out of the industry. If she telling you can make it, that's a good sign of Megan Good's telling you something.
Yeah, yeah.
Megan
Um,
Good is good. Actually, she's great.
yeah, yeah. And she's very, very pretty. Um,
Indeed.
do you know who? I don't know if you've ever seen the show, The Middle.
Yes, I have.
Okay, you know the oldest son's best friend, the black guy,
Mm-hmm.
Alfonso something rather. I can't remember his name. I worked with him on a film
Alfonso
called Cat
Barbera?
Run. Yeah, yeah. I think. Well, no, I don't know if
No, no,
that's
no.
his
I'm
name.
thinking of Carlton
Yeah,
from
you're thinking
Fresh
of the guy
Prince.
from from Fresh Prince. No, I'm talking to. I can't think of his darn name at the moment. But I worked with him on a movie called Cat Run 2, and
Oh, you were in Cat Run too?
yeah,
What were you doing in Cat Run too? Because I've seen Cat Run too.
that was awful. um, that
I
film
mean, wasn't as good as the first one, but I've seen Cat Run too.
actually, I was supposed to be playing a speed dater in this restaurant scene, but the problem is that they blurred out every single extra, and I was supposed to be a featured extra. And I was like, I watched it and I'm like, where am I?
Oh,
Where? I mean, I was like interacting with the actual stars of the film, and I'm like, are you kidding me? They blurred us all out like we weren't even there. I'm like, why'd they even have us there? I was
well,
like,
City
whatever.
Constellation is probably a good thing that blurred you out.
Yeah,
That
probably.
yeah, I'm gonna sit here and just say this from being a viewer. They tried, but it got a little too crazy at the end of that movie.
I
I'm not
didn't
gonna
even
get.
finish it. I didn't even finish watching it. I just went to that scene and I was like so pissed I couldn't turn it off. I was like, forget it.
Hey, as long as they paid you, girl.
Yeah, yeah, they did, and the food was good. So what can I say?
Well, I mean, hey, it's all good. Hey,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
mean,
like
huh?
It's like I like Cat Run. I like the first one. The first one was really good, but the second one, um, I see why it got such mixed reviews. But anyways, we're gonna go forward.
Let's see. I did some other stuff. I've done some student films here. Um, I'm going out to New York next month, actually, to film a horror film from 388 Productions called The Horrific Evil Monsters. And it's kind of like a superhero-ish style film where they go up against, but they're horror icons or something, and they go up against the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Really?
And apparently I get to take on death. So I guess we'll see. I don't know exactly what the deal is there.
Well,
But
girl.
I think it's gonna be really amazing. This director, his name's Adam Steigert. Um,
Mhm.
really talented guy. He just put in this other film he had done called Fang in a bunch of festivals, and he's been winning awards. And he's a really talented guy. So I am pretty confident that this thing will do pretty well.
Yeah, 'cause I've seen Fang. Fang is good. I
Oh,
watch a lot.
okay. You think so? Talk about cool.
Yeah, I watch a lot of movies, so
Mm-hmm.
um, I hope it's dope because like he did a really good job on that one. So I have some confidence in this thing. If
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
we
I've
just
got some kind of another horror movie up in Fresno I'm doing at some point. I'm not exactly sure when. I'm waiting on the director to let me know when I need to be there. But it's called Fears from a director. His name's Barry Ritchie. And it's supposed to be like, I mean, exactly what the title says. Like you get killed based on your worst fear or something. So,
okay, that
well,
was
yeah, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
We'll
I mean,
see. I mean,
what's your worst fear that you
my
would say?
worst fear?
Yeah.
Um, oh man, dying in general and being forgotten.
Ooh,
Yeah,
you
like,
you went to a dark place on that one.
well, I mean, but it's the truth. Like, I mean, I think that's one of the other reasons I wanted to be an actress so bad is because I don't want to be forgotten ever. You know,
Take
like,
a
and
seat.
at least
Never forget.
my family, if I were to die, they have movies of me that they can watch, or even just be in the playing in the room, and they're doing their own thing, but they can still hear my voice. You know what I mean?
Makes sense to me. It's almost like
I know it's a
legacy.
crazy reason. I mean, it's part of the reason, but
Hey,
yeah,
everybody wants to leave their legacy in some aspect.
yeah, yeah.
It's almost like they want to make their own time capsule. Your time capsule is making film. Mine is
Hmm.
doing this podcast.
Yeah,
I mean, so some people, like for instance, Tommy Chong's going to be known for being the legacy of the pot movement, or we can go down the list of different people. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah, exactly.
musicians. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's weird at all. Not at
Well,
all.
thank you.
I think that's part of like human nature when it comes down to it. Like we all want to leave something on this earth to be remembered
I mean,
by.
I did leave something. I love children, but
Yeah, like sometimes people want to go bigger than that. I'm not saying like children are greatness. The children
yeah,
are greatness. Children are our future. Children are the world.
children are okay. They're great if they're cooked properly.
Well, not cooked properly. It's like, man, let me just sprinkle in a
I,
little bit of
I
pepper.
saw that sticker. I saw that sticker somewhere, and it just kind of stuck with me. And I was like, "That is so hilarious."
I want to give 20 points to whoever has that sticker. Shout out to that person because that's actually a good quote and a good thought right there. How are the basics? What are the ingredients? Are we using a little bit of thyme? Are we using a little bit of cumin? It's got some cinnamon in there.
Yeah. And you know, the craziest thing I think I've ever seen on the internet was a recipe. And I printed it out because I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a recipe on how to cook human. I was like, what am I seeing right now? And I printed it out and I was like, I had to show my friends, like, you're not going to believe what I just found. And they were like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
There's a recipe on how to cook human.
Yes. I swear to God. I was like, I don't know how I stumbled on it, but yeah, it was the most insane thing I think I've ever read. I was like, what? Why? Why would somebody do this? You know that the FBI is probably investigating that person for a serial killer.
Oh, that person's on the watch list. Like hardcore. It's like, oh, we don't need another Jeffrey Dahmer. Let's watch this one.
Exactly.
It's like, worst gonna worst, we'll pistol whip it and study it for science.
Yeah. Bottomize that thing right there. Go ahead.
It's like, yeah, it's that guy. It's like, sir, we'd like to see your basement, please. I was like, I don't know if I want to go down in that basement.
Yeah, exactly. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, nah. Sometimes ignorance is bliss in certain aspects. Like, yeah, because I'll tell you what, like, man, I want to say, I'll tell you this story real quick. Okay, so there was this guy down the street, right? Nice neighbor, had this cute little Scottish terrier, walk his dog, say hi to my mother. He like welcomed us into the neighborhood when we moved here in the neighborhood, like maybe 18, 19 years ago. Okay, cool
Mm-hmm.
guy. Then all of a sudden, we found out like there was a huge cop bust at his house, and we found out that like he was involved with like child pornography, maybe a murder case or two, and yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, like he was all over the news, like it was insanity. Like we were just like, did you know? No. Did you know? No. It's like, and we might have found a body down in Harrisonville. More at 9. I'm like,
Wow.
man, it's funny how you don't know who you're living next door to.
Do you want to know one of the things I went to school for college?
What's that?
Mortuary sciences.
Really? Were you thinking about getting like kind of doing like the CSI thing and doing like studying
No,
body stuff?
no. That's criminal. That's criminal investigation of some sort. No, mortuary sciences is embalming, preparing bodies for funerals, stuff like that. I want to
Oh,
own my own. I want to own my own cemetery someday.
well, that's a
I know,
business that
right?
will
Such a
keep.
weird thing to want, but I actually like want the Walmart of death. Basically, like when you go in the gates, there's a chapel there, there's the funeral home, there's a crematorium, there's a pet cemetery, there's the florist and the place to buy your headstone. Like you don't have to go everywhere else. You know what I mean? Like you just go to this one place and everything is right there for you. Instead of, I mean, people are grieving. These funeral homes, they take people's grief and stress them out to get them to buy more expensive things. And
True.
then you've got to make 15 phone calls just to go find a florist, to go find the headstones, to find the casket, to do this, to do that. And I'm like, nah, make it to where it's a one-stop shop.
Actually, that's not a bad idea, and business will definitely be lucrative.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And I want to, if I get this someday, I want to have it that anybody under the age of 18 automatically gets a free funeral.
see, that's awesome. See, I would
Because
I
the
would actually
children don't
invest into
deserve to
something like that.
die. Yeah.
I would actually invest in something like that, to be honest. Like I have a former person I used to talk to, and she was a mortician. She actually lived in the cemetery too.
Hmm.
She lived in like this big like 2-3 story house, like in the middle of the cemetery, and like she had been. I think she's still doing that work too. Like she's been doing it for like almost a decade now. When I think about it,
Yeah.
I mean, This business will never slow down. That's for sure. You'll definitely make a killing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I have that idea, and I have an idea for a horror themed restaurant.
Hmm.
Where when you go in, the host will be like, "Would you like gore or non-gore?" And if you go to the non-gore, that's like where you take your kids. It's not as because there's going to be TVs showing horror movies. So in
Oh, so
non-gore, you
like
don't see the
Hotel
blood. You
Transylvania for
don't,
the kids or something.
yeah, or you don't see blood, you don't see guts and stuff like that. But if you go into the gore section, you see everything. Like my son wants to be a chef, and I told him, I said, if you do this, and I make enough money with this acting thing someday, I want to open this restaurant. And I'm like, yeah, we could have like Bloody Mary burgers and Freddy finger fries, And I'm like, I think this would be awesome. So yeah.
Dude, like, you want to know something crazy? Okay, so I have a friend who went to Japan with me. Okay, right? Because I was
Mm-hmm.
in exchange in Japan for a summer, right? They had a Saw themed restaurant.
Yeah, I know Japan's got some crazy restaurants over there.
Oh my gosh! Like seriously, I would love to go to like some type of horror restaurant here in America somewhere. Cause
Yeah,
yeah, cause
I mean,
like I. Mhm.
I want to have the props from movies, kind of like Planet Hollywood, but all horror.
That actually sounds like a lot of fun, and I think that's a good concept. Like
Yeah,
it's good
sounds cute.
food, good entertainment. So like that would be something because like what she was telling me is, how in the scene in Saw where like they had the guys woke up handcuffed and all that. They actually handcuff you to your table.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh yeah. Well, it was on some next level stuff. I was like, okay, that's actually kind of like dope. When I was in Germany, we had my friend took me to this museum, right? But it's a haunted museum. It was like a horror museum.
Mm-hmm.
So and it was called the Dungeon, but it was also a museum. But it had all these different like aspects. They had like crazy rides and like they're like telling you all this history of like the Dark Ages in Germany. But the whole thing was like people were dressed up with horror makeup on and stuff like that. And it was just like it was freaky but educational at the same time. It was like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like
Yeah.
it was just like because it was in this old like because it was in this old part of like Hamburg used to be a castle, and I was like, yo, I could get down with this. Like this is awesome. Like
Yeah.
yeah, because I like horror movies. I like horror stuff. So like so I take it you're a big horror fan yourself.
Oh God, yes, I absolutely love horror. Like nothing scares me. I mean, I've seen these lists, that people put out. Oh, of the scariest movies that people can't watch, and like there was that movie. Did you ever hear of that movie Raw?
Yes, I've seen Raw.
Yeah, I've seen it, and apparently people were throwing up at that viewing, and I'm like, this movie is nothing. I've seen worse. Like
I mean,
Cannibal Holocaust, anyone? I'm like, come on.
okay, that was a rough movie. Oh,
Yeah,
you know
that
what's
was.
oh you know what people always say Human Centipede.
No, I didn't think that was that just it screamed cheese to me. I was just like, whatever. Like, no.
It's more shock value than horror.
Yeah.
Like, how can we take it a little bit further? Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get some Dutch people. We're gonna get some needle and thread, and we're gonna go with that.
I mean, yeah, it was crazy because I was like, ugh, that's pretty gross, but okay.
Uh, I mean, do I ever want to be in a human centipede situation? I don't
Yeah.
think anybody does. I mean, there's probably certain people in the world that kind of live like a human centipede in a different aspect, but that's a whole different story
Yeah.
for another day. But yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Yo, man, that's cool though. I did not know
Yeah.
like I knew you were gonna be cool when we did this, but I did not expect like us to get into like a horror movie talk and all this. I actually like the fact that we're doing something different here. Like this is awesome. Like so,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
I absolutely adore horror movies. Like I was 5 or 6 years old when I got adopted with my sister, and she would run out of the room and she was too scared to watch anything. And I'm sitting there going, "Come back in here, you big chicken! You're gonna watch this." And she was 7 years older than me. I'm like, "Really? I'm like 6. What is your problem?" I fell in love with Freddy Krueger when I was like 6 years old, and I couldn't get enough of him.
Robert Englund will always be the
Oh
best
yeah,
Freddy Krueger ever.
I've always had a crush on Robert Englund. Ugh.
Hey, he played a good role when he was Freddy Krueger. And I'm not gonna lie, people don't understand. Like you think about it, that was kind of like a horror comedy too. It was actually really funny at
Yeah,
times.
like, I didn't think it was ever fun. I didn't think it was scary ever. I was like, it was great. And then when they tried to do the remix, I was like, no. Mm-mm. He is talking about possibly doing it one more time. I'm like, please do, please do.
Okay, the world doesn't deserve Robert Englund sometimes. If he were to do this, it would have to be done right with the right director.
Yeah, exactly.
But if Robert Englund does do it, I know he'll be whispering in the director's ears, like, "Hey, man, here's how this should go."
Or if they could get the original director.
I would love that.
What's his name? Oh my god, I can't believe it's and my brain just went blank.
Man, I'm gonna have to like Wikipedia that one.
Not John Carpenter.
Not John Carpenter. Wes Craven.
Yes. That's it. Wes Craven.
It was Wes Craven, I believe. I didn't even have to look that up. Yes. 20 points for me. Yay.
I mean, you'd think I would remember the director who gave Johnny Depp his start. Duh.
Well, unfortunately, Wes Craven is dead.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, that's a bummer.
You know what? We tried, people. We try to put it in the air, but we know that,
Forgot.
yeah, that's,
Damn.
maybe we make like a hologram with his personality. Hey, they can do it with Tupac. Maybe we can do it with. I'm just playing. That was terrible. I'm sorry, guys. That was horrible.
Oh boy.
So, what's your favorite horror movie of all time?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have one because I love so many of them.
Mm.
But I guess my first go-to is definitely, Freddy, but anything Freddy Krueger. I really did enjoy the Saw series because they were so original. I was blown away when I saw the very first one. I'm like, finally, somebody does something that's not done in every other movie that's been put out.
Oh, I agree. People don't understand. It was more of a psychological concept than anything.
Mm-hmm.
You got to realize we're going into people's psyche in this movie. It really wasn't about the blood and gore. I mean, yeah, there was plenty of blood and gore, but it was also like a mystery. It was like a crime mystery, psychological thriller, horror, all packed into one product. I'm not gonna lie though, I did not like Saw 3D.
Yeah, that one was terrible.
That was just awful. I was just like, this is just gore porn. Like at this point, like they really should have stopped at 5 and just ended it, cut it off, done. Like
the Final Destination series was a good one.
I will agree with that. I would say all the way to 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it just kind of got into, okay, this is more like those teen horrors you could have put on like MTV.
Yeah, I know what you did last summer.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that series. He's a man that they killed, and he has a hook.
Oh, really?
He'll put sea creatures in your trunk of your car. So if you want Long John Silver's, call the hook guy. And also we have Brandy starting the second one.
That was definitely something.
It's like there will be turns, there will be hooks. Oh, okay, I'm done. I was like, yeah, Candyman didn't do this first with the hook.
Yeah, I did like Candyman. There's only one thing in horror movies that I've seen that's ever actually like freaked me out and kind of scared me. Because I've seen it all and nothing really scares me. Only one thing has ever scared me. And it was in Pet Sematary, the sister, Zelda. Oh, I can't even look at her. And anytime that movie comes on, I can't hear her voice. She's just She gives me the bejesus. I can't do it. Can't do it.
I'm not gonna lie, mine was Candyman. I don't know what it was. It was something scary about seeing that there's a black dude who is the horror villain that scared me. I don't understand that. And I'm
Uh,
black. And I'm just like, oh, God.
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I had some nightmares about that dude. I heard he's actually a nice guy in real life. Good
Yeah.
grief.
Yeah. Have you seen the remake of Pet Cemetery, by the way?
No, I haven't seen it. I heard mixed things about it.
It's it's I was highly disappointed in it. Because it felt very rushed through the whole film. Like it was just they left out a lot of stuff, and then it just felt like it was going too fast. And I'm like, really? And then the ending, I was just like, are you kidding me? I was really mad when I saw it. I was like, nope, I'll stick to the original. Creepy
Yeah.
sister and all.
Some classics don't need to be remade. They got
Yeah,
away with it. It was cool. I like the
yeah,
fact that what they did with it. That was awesome, especially when they got the Stranger Thing kids. But
yeah.
the like them doing Pet Cemetery, like I didn't even like the trailer, to be honest. Like the trailer kind of already turned me off. So it was just
Yeah.
like I don't know about this one. Now the old school ones, oh yeah, give me those any day with a bucket of popcorn. I'll watch those.
Mhm.
Like I'll watch
I
all.
I am so glad they were not able to remake The Crow after they were trying and trying and trying for years, and finally they gave up.
Whew. I know. I'm not gonna lie. That was a clincher right there. That was just one of those things. I was just like, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it because that's his legacy. Leave it alone.
Leave Brandon
And
alone.
I guess like with all the petitions over and out about it, and whatever. Plus, they just kept losing directors. They kept losing actors and whatever. And it's like what that is, right? That's Brandon Lee's spirit, just making sure things don't get done.
Facts. And that's the way it should be. Some things need to be left alone. There's
Yep.
a reason why those films are cult classics because they're already where they need to be. People love it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ruin it. Leave it as is. Okay. I'm not saying I wouldn't like to see an evolution of certain films, but there's just a point where
Too much
like
is too much.
too much is too much. You can't make all these remakes. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's not like something's got to give. Like it's sort of like you remember that time where they were making a whole bunch of movies based off of '70s shows.
Yeah.
Like we ended up with Starsky and Hutch. We ended up with Charlie's Angels,
I'm like,
and
there's got to be writers out there who have more ideas, and these studio execs need to understand that it's not just about the dollar. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to put out something that people are going to want to see.
I
Don't
agree.
just spin crap out and be like, oh, here you go. Like, really?
I will say this. I mean, some remakes are dope. Like I enjoyed the Charlie's Angels remakes. That was cool.
Mhm.
Like there were certain things I was just like, okay, this remake was good. This remake was garbage. This remake, I don't know why they were thinking this would be good. It'd be like, for instance, they try to remake like Mork and Mindy without Robin Williams.
What? No. Uh-uh.
Yeah, they shouldn't. They should never do that. There's just some like I'm kind of cringing at the Aladdin movie that's about to come out.
I did watch a full trailer last night, and I was like, well, maybe that won't be so bad. I don't really like the genie, but the rest of it looks kind of pretty. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Can't knock it until I actually see it.
And that's just it. Like I'm kind of like I love Will Smith, so the thing is, there's a lot of pressure on him, especially because of the
Mm-hmm.
fact it's not Robin Williams, and
Yeah.
as much as I want to say, like I think it makes me nervous because I'm a huge fan of Will Smith. Like when he made that transition from being just the Fresh Prince, the rapper, the sitcom star to doing like movies like Enemy of the State and Men in Black and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
Ali. It's like I don't want this movie to fail because of who's in it, but at the same time, in the age we live in, people are so critical about everything.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part.
I mean, people can't enjoy stuff anymore. So it's sort of like I was like, can we just enjoy this? Let's sing along to the songs that we knew when we were kids. Enjoy it, smile a little bit, and just escape for a while. Because that's the whole thing about movies or anything we watch or view. Like it's a sense of escapism, and we should enjoy it.
And there's enough cynicism in the world that, it's like, just chill out, relax. It's not that serious. It's just a movie.
I
Doesn't
agree.
define your life, you know?
Oh, but some people will take it there, try to ruin actors' lives and stuff. It's sort of like
Yeah.
good example, the Star Wars thing. I had mentioned this in a previous episode with the Star Wars fans and how they were harassing all the girls in the cast,
Hmm.
saying like you shouldn't do this or you're ugly or you're too this or your image is not meant for this character or you're Asian or you are just like totally not what I envisioned from a book I read. It's just like
Hmm.
it's a story. They're trying to make it the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like that. Like they don't deserve to be harassed just because you probably didn't enjoy um,
Yeah.
their illustration of it. Just have
Yeah.
fun, enjoy the movie. Don't ruin it for other people.
Exactly.
Or shoot, like that Game of Thrones like
Game
controversy.
of Thrones. I didn't like the ending, but at the same time, hey, I wouldn't go signing a petition to have them remake the last season. I was like, you know what? They did what they felt they should do. They did the best they could, and I think it still was a really good ending.
I mean, you think about like the fact that how much money they spent on this. They were making movie quality episodes. Okay,
Yeah, it's
like
like 100
seriously,
million every episode or something.
like not every show can do that. Okay, like
Yeah.
you gotta realize they had to be like they're filling like some big shoes by doing 100,000 like $100 million episodes. Okay, they
Hmm.
they went out of the country to do these episodes. So you gotta think they're flying out the cast members, the crew, the production team. On top of that, they also got to do they got to pay people to do like certain work of CGI and all this type of like you think about all the work and effort that was put into this. I think people need to be a little bit more grateful that
Yeah, I like what the producers of the show said. Well, if you all are smarter than us, you rewrite the season. And I was like, ah, that tells them, doesn't it?
that was the best clapback I've seen in a couple weeks. That was
Yeah,
that was like
great.
okay, touche, sir. Like okay, so people think the ending was garbage. Okay, well then I'm sorry to tell you that hey, you got a conclusion to a story that had been going on for 8 9 years. Be grateful that they even put this time and effort. The actors to the like the whole production team, like I said before, just everybody in general. Like it's not easy to wrap things, especially in this climate. Like everybody wants to kind of get
Exactly.
like, yeah, like they. It's almost like it gets political. It's just like this is a show. Like you will not end your life by something maybe not being what you want it to be. Not everything's going to be how you want it to be. You can't always get what you want, sort of like the song.
Right.
So that's why I always have like high regards for actors and actresses and the producers. I mean, if they're putting a valiant effort towards it, I ain't got no problem.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
It's
got my
just
complaint.
like people always ask me, they're like, well, isn't that such an easy job that you do? I'm like, no, I want to see you do something for 16 hours a day and have to repeat the same emotions, the same movements, and not screw it up over and over and over until they get the right take. I'm like, you're emotionally, physically, and mentally drained by the end of the day. I promise you, this is not an easy job.
Heck no, I don't think I would want to be on set all my day. Like seriously, I don't think I got the intentions attention span for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you're doing is an art for a reason. It takes time
Yep.
to make art, and that means you're investing a lot of time, and time is money. So it's like you're investing your time and money just to make like an impact in your career and the way this movie is presented. So you got to put every piece of yourself into your roles.
Yeah. I actually just did, I don't know if I sent you the link or not, but I actually just did a short film for this competition out here called AT&T's Create-a-thon, and it was called Hoth. And the director's name is Jessica Brown. Well, like, that's the first time I've actually watched myself on screen, and it was very, very weird. So weird. I don't think I ever want to watch myself again, but it was a really fun experience because it was, we did this in about 5 hours, and it was only about 5 minutes long. And the other actors that I worked with were really, really talented. And I had to, I guess I'm basically like I got arrested for conspiracy of murder or something. And like, I was a complete bitch, pardon my French.
It's okay. Anything goes on this show.
Okay. Well, I mean, my character was like really just mean, I guess. And it was definitely an experience, but we didn't win anything in the competition, but it was the fact that I got to do it and got exposure. So, I mean, that's all that mattered.
Hey,
but I'll definitely send you that link so that you can check it out.
Yes, please. Speaking of which, where can people like find you or check out some of your projects? And
okay, well, I'm on can't talk. I'm sorry. I'm on IMDb under Billie Perez. Some of my projects are now under Billie F. Teamy. So it's a little bit, I've been trying to, figure out the name situation.
Okay.
But they can check out my Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. Instagram is Billie _ F Teamy, EFTIMIE. And I post a lot of the stuff that I'm doing either on Facebook or on Instagram.
Okay.
And the Facebook is Billie Ann Sherman. So yeah, I got too many names. I need to just settle on one.
Like, girl, like you got like just as many AKAs as I do. Like, good grief.
Yeah.
It's like, not only is she an actress, but she's also Mrs. AKA of this show right now. Give it up for Mr.
Oh boy. Yeah, I've got a couple auditions today that I've got to go to in a little while, and one's for a mafia boss, so that should be interesting, and the other one is for a grieving widow or something. I don't know about. She starts dating again and has to introduce her teenage son to the guy's teenage son, and I don't know, some craziness ensues. So hoping that I get that, because the mafia boss, that's going to be definitely different. But I'm always getting stuck. Like, people want to put me in roles that are like I'm either a vampire, a killer, or a cop, or something really serious. And I'm like, I want to try comedy. That would be fun.
I would love to see what you do with comedy, because you seem like you would be hilarious in a comedy.
Well, at least all my friends think I am funny. So I don't know.
Like, I already like your sense of humor, so it's cool.
Yeah, I used to love I Love Lucy. And one of my other inspirations has always been Charlie Chaplin. So
classic.
I think I could pull off some comedy. I'm hoping I get the chance.
Let's put it in the air then, in the universe. Make sure you get these roles that she's going after, and also make sure you also get some roles in some good comedies, like a Jason Bateman film, or a Jason Mewes film, or somebody of that great connect. Adam Sandler.
Oh my God, I would love to work with Adam Sandler.
I would love to just meet Adam Sandler.
Oh, when you want to hear a really funny story? When I first moved here, I was here about a week and a half. Tracy Morgan was getting his star on the Walk of Fame, and I had just left an audition. I was wandering around. I ran straight into this, what was happening. And I was like, that's the first time I'd ever seen something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I started talking to somebody, and they were like, yeah, the dinner's over there if you want to come. And I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, cool. So, I mean, I've actually got photos posted up on Facebook, but I'm like sitting there, and they brought out his cake and whatever. And like, I'm standing like right behind him and his daughter. And the restaurant staff, I think, got freaked out because I wasn't like on the official invite list or anything else. Just somebody in his group said, hey, you can come on over. And the restaurant kicked me out after I'd been there for like 20 minutes. I'm like, really? Then Tracy even said she can stay. They said, no, sir, she can't. And they made me leave. I was like, wow, I've been here a week and a half and got kicked out of my first celebrity party. Cool.
Congratulations, you're a rock star.
I was like, they're like, ma'am, you need to leave. I'm like, but he just said I could stay. And they're like, no. I was like, okay, I'm out.
They're like, be gone, commoner.
Exactly.
I can already hear Tracy Moore. It's like, yo, she can stay, okay? First of all, everybody in here gonna get pregnant. Oh, okay, I'm just kidding, because that sounded like something you would say. Okay, I'm done. I cannot do a Tracy Morgan impersonation.
It wasn't bad, actually.
Mr. Morgan, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but he was super
I love
nice.
your movies.
I will give him that. He was very, very cool.
He seems like he would be cool to talk to. I would love to just have a conversation with him. I know I would die laughing. But soon, well, Miss Billie Ann, a.k.a. Miss Billie Ann Sherman, a.k.a. Miss Eftamine, a.k.a. well, you can just go down the list of that. Oh, a.k.a. Miss Perez as well.
Yeah. Girl, and I can have as many names as Daenerys Targaryen. Jeez.
Good grief, girl. Like, you got so many names. Like, you're beating me in AKAs today. I was like, man.
Yeah, well, I just need to settle on one name and then just make sure that all of my, stuff represents that one name. See, because Sherman's my maiden name and Eftimi is my ex's last name, and then Perez is my second husband's last name. So I just, whatever.
Girl, you wearing me out.
I know, right? I wear myself out. Are you kidding me?
Girl. For sure. I want to thank you for coming on the show, and it's been a great pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
It was good to talk to a fellow horror movie nerd. This is something that I enjoy, is when, we can sit down, have common ground, have some good dialogue. Also, we both found out we're huge fans of Johnny Depp and Brandon Lee, or just the Lee legacy in general. Like, you are a cool person, and we definitely need to stay in contact. And anything you had to promote anytime, you are welcome on the show.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for being so kind and so awesome. And with that, we're going to go ahead and step up out of here. This has been another production of the Delivery Bros. And I'm Anthony Anthem, a.k.a. Black Fabio, a.k.a. Black Mamba, a.k.a. Hot Salsa, a.k.a. with the chips and the dip. We're going to flip the script and take another trip. Okay, I'm done. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey everyone, this is John Tolley, inviting you to check out War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. Each week, me and my co-host Christopher Stolley discuss the news and theories surrounding one of the largest movie franchises in the world. So join us every Wednesday at 8 Eastern as we travel to the galaxy far, far away, right here on Anchor FM and wherever fine podcasts are heard.
When you need CBD, vape juice, or a new mod, go to Vape Scorpion. 10859 Boston Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19116. They are formerly known as East Coast Vapor. They have all your needs, all the equipment, all the juice. And hey, while you're there, sit down, enjoy a beer, bring your own, and just hang out with a bunch of cool people. So guys, if you really need your next vape machine, or maybe you just want to try a locally made juice, make sure you hit up Vape Scorpion. That's 1085 Boston Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19116, or give a call to 215-464-8273. Oh yeah, and make sure you let them know that Realm of the Mist Entertainment sent you.
Why didn't the Three Little Pigs go in for some kind of flat share scheme?
Does Jesus get to choose which wine he turns it into?
Why don't Sims have the upper body strength to climb out of a swimming pool?
And does everybody really want to be a cat?
I'm Will Baker.
And I'm Alex Prescott.
And if you're the type of person that overthinks these deep philosophical questions, then Think to the Brink is the podcast for you.
From Disney characters to song lyrics, debates to social etiquette, tune in every week for your dose of paralysis by analysis.
All topic suggestions are welcome. If you can think it, we can overthink it. Think to the Brink. Available on all podcast platforms.
Hey everyone, this is Dak.
This is Liam.
And this is White People Shit.
We are a bi-weekly podcast.
Whoa. Maybe you're buying week. I'm straight and strong.
It means twice a week, you douche.
Oh. Yeah, listen to us twice a week. On White People Wednesdays, we talk about gay stuff, zombies, superhero sex positions.
And on Featured Peep Fridays, we interview the Featured Peep of the Week.
Yeah, like a fucking furry.
Just search WPS Podcast and look for the white dude in red pajamas.
We're on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
We believe in equal opportunity humor, where all things can be made fun of. So if your feelings get hurt and you're offended, you can always
eat a dick.
He said that she said, how dare you say that? That's offensive. Well, someone's gotta say it. It had to be said with Venus. Catch the live show Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out the recordings at any time. Guest shows weekly. Listener, beware. Mature content, sexual content, trigger warning. Do you dare say it?
Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm here to tell you about Realm of the Mist Podcast. Realm of the Mist Podcast, we talk about all the great entertainment things from movies, music, books, comic books, and many, many other forms of entertainment, as well as politics, current events, and just general humor and having a good time. If you're looking for a podcast that is right up your alley, look no further than Realm of the Mist Podcast here on Anchor.fm or where fine podcasts can be heard.
Hi, this is Dave from the Comic Collection at 83 Bustleton Pike in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Our phone number is 215-357-3332. We are right next to Northeast Philadelphia. We have action figures, gaming, statues, albums, and CDs, graphic novels, other knickknacks, and, of course, comics. Established in 1985, we are your go-to store. Come by and say hello, and say that the guys from Radiocast FM Radio sent you. The address again is 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, Pennsylvania, or call 215-357-3332.
Three-eyed turtle? Is that alright?
What the fuck is a three-eyed turtle?
Who wants a mustache ride?
Are you tired of the same old podcasts with no humor? Well, join us for After Hours, where everything is funny, at least to us, on Anchor.fm and where quality podcasts are heard.
How the fuck did we get on this?
I don't know.
Fucking FCC started this shit. It's their fucking fault.